Welcome to Strategic Planning Process High Quality Objectives 3.1. Congratulations. Thank you and congratulations on a valuable and productive 2 days of learning in Jakarta. We learned a lot from you. We learned that you have a lot of strength and insight. You're hungry for knowledge. You have a lot of shared challenges amongst the group. You're interested in the possibility of joining together to accomplish things. You're interested in peer-to-peer networking and learning, and you want some more guidance around succession planning and goal setting in particular. And what we want you to know about that is that we want to support you every way we can as you go through this. So let's take a moment to review how the webinar series works. We've been through the 2 series so far. We're in the 3rd series right now. We're on webinar 3.1, and we're about to review objectives, high-quality objectives. Okay. So how it all fits together, let's review where we've been. We started with reviewing our vision and mission statement. Then we moved to our SWOT analysis and our stakeholder engagement, and that really helped us look at our core strategies or in our programs, what we're actually doing internally, and then what's happening externally in the organization. Then we moved on to goal setting and looked at how that can support your strategic priorities. And now we're going to move into specific measurable objectives, actually writing the plan, operationalizing it so that you can track your progress in the evaluation piece, which is next. So the document you'll need for this webinar is writing high-quality objectives, information, and instructions. And if you don't have it pulled up on your screen or printed out, go ahead and push pause, and I'll wait while you do that. So what are high-quality objectives? Once you have agreement about the goals that will be included in your strategic plan, the next step is to write high-quality objectives. These are realistic targets that help you reach your goals and are the elements of a strategic plan that help you operationalize your plan. High-quality objectives are best written using the active tense with verbs like create, decide, plan, write, construct, produce, etc., rather than using verbs like understand, learn, feel, consider, or think. High-quality objectives indicate specific and measurable steps that you plan to take on a specific timeline to achieve your goals. So why is that important? Why is writing high-quality objectives worth our time? High-quality objectives help you move your strategic plan forward by clarifying who is going to do what, when they're going to do it, and what measurable standard they will do it. It's a good idea when possible to have those responsible for how it's going to get done help with the writing. High-quality objectives focus your energy and effort so you can be really efficient. Internally, well-articulated objectives help staff, volunteers, and the board understand the actual work it will take to achieve the strategic plan. Objectives within a strategic plan do not have great use externally. Most supporters will find this level of detail excessive, but it's still important to do it because of its internal uses. This is one of the greatest internal benefits of having a strategic plan. So high-quality objectives are meaningful and motivating, but they're also practical and grounding. Writing the objectives for each goal can be done in many ways, and we suggest that the people who will be tasked with achieving these goals be tasked with writing the objectives. If that does not work for your group due to language or workload challenges, we suggest having someone from the Strategic Planning Committee draft the objectives, and then that person can work with the people who will operationalize the plan to ensure the objectives are SMART, and that means they are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's talk for a minute about the Strategic Planning Committee and what role they can play in this part of the project. Traditionally, the Strategic Planning Committee would identify who would write the objectives for each goal. Ideally, that person will be engaged in accomplishing the work and will be part of writing the objectives. Let's talk a minute about the Strategic Planning Committee and their role in this process. Traditionally, the Strategic Planning Committee will identify who will write the objectives for each goal. As we said earlier, it's important for the person who is engaged in accomplishing the work to have influence in creating and writing the objectives. The Strategic Planning Committee can add value to this process by proofreading and editing, and the committee should also make sure that all the objectives read as if they're coming from one voice, and then should test to ensure that all the objectives are indeed SMART. And by SMART, again, I mean specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's look at a couple examples of high-quality objectives. All your objectives will be written in service of a goal. So for these examples, we've given you a couple goal examples as well. So one example of a goal is replace, reinforce, or repair all animal enclosures to ensure human and animal safety. That's the goal that this objective is going to serve. The objective is going to include who does what, by when, and by what measurable standards. So for this example, the objective is assess all mammal enclosures and create a list of recommended repairs. And then we're indicating who's going to do that, the facility caretaker and the rehabilitators. What are they going to do? They're going to visually and personally review all mammal enclosure characteristics, and they're going to create a list of needed repairs. So when are they going to do this? By September 30th of this year. And by what measurable standards? So in this case, the standard is one list of all the needed mammal enclosure repairs. So the measurable piece is that they've got one single list. Another example is for a goal. An example of a goal that an objective will serve is increase annual fundraising income by 40% within the next 5 years. So that's the goal. Now the objective, one of the objectives, because that goal could have multiple objectives in it. One that we chose to use as an example is create a social media campaign called Giving for Givens to raise $10,000. So the objective, that's the objective, and then included with that to make it a SMART objective, we'll have who, it's the online marketing volunteer team. What are they going to do? They're going to create a plan with a timeline for review. When are they going to do it? Between these two dates, and by what measurable standard. And in this one, you'll see that the plan includes multiple measurable standards. It's going to include a deadline, creative process, target goal, lead actors, communication and technology needs, etc. So the plan, they're going to have one plan with those things in it, and that's what how they're going to know that they've met their goal, their objective. That's the measurable standard they'll use. So that concludes webinar 3.1. We have some suggested immediate next steps for you. The first one being to review your documents and begin this process of writing your objectives. The second thing would be to listen to webinar 3.2, which is the final and concluding webinar of the strategic planning process. Thank you.